Hello, everybody, and welcome to Problem Solve Her podcast. I'm your co-host, Chloe, along with my girl,
Dagmar.
Dagmar's in the house. Chloe's in the house. Guys, thank you for joining us today, whether you're listening in your car or you're watching on the YouTube, or you might be scrolling on social media on Problem Solve Her, no Eon Solve on Instagram, or maybe you're on our website, problemsolveher.com, or you might have found us on TikTok, the Chutzpah Girl. This is a really fun, cool, open space for people to share their stories and their experiences and to, as we say in Jamaica, big each other up and to give self-empowerment and independence and self-worth and confidence. And Dagmar and I like to have fun, and we just want to share our stories because we have some pretty good ones to share. Right, Daggy?
Absolutely.
What are we doing today?
Today,
Today's the day.
today is reinventing body image.
Ooh, I've done that a million times.
Explain what body image is.
Well, first of all, when I was younger, this topic would be like, I'd already be sweating, right? It's different for men and women, and I have to explain why. First of all, men have different metabolisms than women. They can eat and drink a lot more than females can. Our bodies are built differently. They metabolize differently. They can, shed quicker than we can in terms of pounds and fat and all these things. And they can drink beer all day and then go for a run and be fine the next day. Women are different. We have hormones, our body changes, we have periods, perimenopause, menopause, all kinds of things that go on that men don't have to deal with. So specifically for women, when it comes to body image, I remember, and I'll never forget this, that when I first got my menstrual, I got it very young. I was in 6th grade and my body changed very quickly. I was in 6th grade. That's 11 years old. And it changed like this, like overnight. When you're young, you wear what's called feminine napkins. I'm going to be politically correct in the way I say them, feminine napkins. And I was so nervous. And I was like, I can't go into 7-Eleven. All my neighbors are going to see me and the cute guys that I have the sports and So I would drive down to 7-Eleven. I was like, and now I'm 14. I'd be like, Dad, go in there. This is the brand. Get Always. Go inside. I'm going to get a Slurpee and I'm going to wait for you. Go grab them and bring them to the counter. I was so embarrassed about my body and being bloated and anyone seeing me. Today, I had this experience last month and it came to me, this memory. And there was this gorgeous guy. I was in Walgreens and he was behind me. And I had like 3 packs of maxi pads, 2 things of him. And I didn't even think about it. And I was bloated and I was like hot and sweating and whatever. So I think the body image is down to the individual. And there are some women that are genetically blessed with a body they're born with, and it never changes. They have the same frame. You're probably like that because you have a slim frame. You've always had the same body. So for you, it's great because your body hasn't changed, so the image of it isn't distorted. I'm the kind of person as a Jewish girl whose body changes a lot. When I was 14, and we went to the Boca Raton Beach Club and Resort for Passover. And I was already very developed because my menstrual came at 11. And I had on a bikini and I looked more like I was in high school. My body did. And these boys came up to me and they were in college on spring break because it's the same time as Passover. They said, hey, you want to come with us to this party tonight? My dad came over and said, let me ask you a question. How old do you think my daughter is? Like 17. She's 14. She's in 8th grade. They were like, and I remember thinking my body image was like, I felt confident because like college guys thought I was old enough to go to a party based on what I looked like. And then in high school, that's when your menstrual starts and the cramps and all these things and your body image changes. And then in college it changes and then your 20s. I think at this point in my life, I've just learned that love yourself, your body. You can always work a little bit harder. You can always put the dessert down because Dagmar, you're like me, you love desserts. And I think it's good for a woman, from a woman's perspective, to have a healthy body image. What do you think?
That's cool. I want first to read something for our international listeners because we have listeners from all continents.
That's
because
true.
the body image is something different for Americans as for Europeans. So
True.
body image from more an American perspective is the subjective, multi-dimensional, and dynamic mental picture of a person holds up their own physical self, encompassing thoughts, feelings, perceptions, and behaviors regarding their appearance. And I wanted to share that because growing up in Germany, there is no one, this is how a German should look to look good in the German perspective. Perhaps from the outside, perhaps many countries or cultures think that typical German is blonde and blue eyes, which is not true. So growing up in Germany, it was more about feeling good as looking in a specific way. So if you had your hair nicely done, you had nice outfit on, perhaps you had a little bit makeup on and your skin looks fresh and youthful, and perhaps you looked a little bit tan, then you were seen as pretty, right? And that's how I grew up, and that was my mindset. So I really felt pretty all my life. And then I moved to Miami, and then I felt like the Ash maid in Cinderella, because you look left and right and there are models everywhere. The most gorgeous women who looked like actresses or models, and they were just housewives or had a business or a job, but they all looked like, oh my God. And that really affected how I saw myself, how I saw my body image. Before I saw myself as, oh, you look cute and you look pretty. And then I started making comparison, right, to very specific body image, like perhaps more in Miami or in South Florida is perhaps more tan and makeup and really like beautiful body shapes and long hair, blonde hair, black hair. And it affected me immensely. Like it really deep affected my core, and it took me by accident, right? Didn't expect that at all, that I would film this way. And really that was one of the decisions why I didn't want to live in South Florida, because I got so judged by how I looked and not how I thought or who I was or my credentials or my skills or my knowledge or whatever.
Well, I have a lot of responses. One is I want to go back to what you just read, the American definition, shall we call it? Yeah, the American definition about how you perceive your own appearance. That was really the stories that I had just told you, right? That was exactly that. And you're right. It is different. And all cultures are going to have a different idea of body image. In Europe, and I've noticed this because I've been going to Europe since I was a child, especially in Italy, in Spain, in France, it doesn't matter what size or shape you are. All women wear bikini in the Mediterranean and they work it, every body type. They don't care from big to small. They're so confident, and there's something sexy about that. And there are guys that like all different shapes because of that. And I think that that's a blessing, that women of all shapes and sizes are confident. And they should be, because some people like certain things. Just like when you go into the ice cream shop, everyone's not going to order chocolate and they're not going to order vanilla. Someone wants pistachio, someone wants Oreos and cookies and cream. And that's okay. But the whole thing about the body image where it can go wrong is about like what you were saying, is when we start to feel bad about ourselves because we're seeing all these women. And I have to say this correctly because I don't want anyone to cancel me, but the women, because I lived in Miami years ago, the women that you were seeing, because those were the housewives of Miami on all those shows and they're married to plastic surgeons, a lot of those women have had a lot of surgery, as in their face and their body and their boobs and their tuchus, as we say. And I knew some of them. For me, the most beautiful women in the world are natural. Growing up in a third world country in the island of Jamaica, similar to Europe, I would see women of all different shapes and sizes on the beaches, on the Caribbean Sea there, and they all had so much confidence. And I would see different guys go up to every single different type of a woman because they all had so much confidence. There's something about natural beauty that brings this just like organic. And you and I don't really wear makeup. All I need is a tan on my face, wash my hair, a little lip gloss, mascara. That's it. I'm not getting into the pounds of the makeups and the concealers and the eyes, like all these things. It's okay. Everyone should do what works best for them. But I find, in terms of a body image, so to speak, I find all women beautiful, first of all. And I love men, the Brad Pitts of the world and the Idris Albas and the Ben Afflecks of the world. Women should be confident in their own skin. Some women, like myself, I've fluctuated. And again, Jewish women have different bodies. Our metabolisms are a little bit slower. Ashkenazi Jews, it's known fact, look it up. I have my Russian grandmother's, well, she's Ukrainian, her broad shoulders. I don't have narrow shoulders like my mom, who's Polish and Austrian. I have the Russian, Romanian, all that Eastern Bloc, Jewish, Sephardic blood and Ashkenazi in me, where I have a broader, and when I was younger, I put on a bathing suit. I go, oh my God, I'm a broad. And one of my friends said one day, I have the tiniest little shoulders. I'm like a little girl. I wish I had like you. You're like a Zoftic, full figured. I love your broad shoulders, sexy. And I was like, they are. I was like, thanks, girl. And ever since then, I was like, yeah, let me work my shoulders, I like my arms, but, we all are going to have perceived notions about our body. But Daggy, you're beautiful inside and out. And the women that you were seeing were not natural like you. Sorry, but they weren't. And they'll be happy to say it too.
Thank you, sweetie. I just had two more thoughts about that, where I reinvented myself because of a body image. One, you reminded me as I showed you my picture from where I was in my middle of my 30s.
And you had long hair.
With my partner then, and how I looked. And it's definitely when you get older, because especially how your face is changing and creating shadows, right? That's what happens. So from always, wherever I went to, all my life until 50, everybody thought I'm 10 years younger, always. Because I guess this process of creating the shadows with whatever wrinkles, the skin is getting loose or falling or whatever. And I always had, and it makes you internally happy, right? If somebody guesses your age and you're 10 years younger, and it's not about anything negative. It's just, why not? And then as the time started, as I was 50 and then older, nobody thought anymore I'm 10 years younger, right? They came not close to my age, but it was only like 2, 3, 4, perhaps 5 years, but not 10 anymore. And you're so used to 10 years, right?
I know, but even someone thinking that you're 5 years younger than you are is a really nice compliment.
So, but it's the body image you have of yourself. And it's not just how you look. It's also, are you seen as youthful or not? And now I can see it on myself when I have good days and I'm relaxed, think positive, my facial expressions, how my face is, the less shadows I have, the more useful do I look. If I feel heavy, I have a lot of stress and worries, a lot of stuff going on, or I'm not drinking enough water, then already I can see my mom's face now. And first I was shocked. Who wants to look older? Like, I'm getting older anyway. And my thought process, my mind will stay useful forever because that's just how I am. But when you look in the mirror and you suddenly see your mom, and I look really close to my mom now, how my mom looked with 50, 60. So first I was shocked. Oh my God, I'm getting old now. And then I focused on the positive emotions I have about that. Like, I love my mom. Now I look like my mom. That's beautiful. Like, unfortunately, my dad is already gone too. It's just my little sister, but I can recognize it, and that's enough. And then the other thing, what I'm telling myself and believing in it, Chloe, I worked hard for to get to this point in my life, to have my age, to have my experience, to have my knowledge, not making the old dumb things anymore. I did because I thought, helper, rescuer, caregiver, you need to be a good girl. That's what you do. Now I feel like I have the freedom, right, to be myself. So when I look now in the mirror, I see myself, the outside person I am today. It doesn't change that I feel useful inside, but now above accepting when I look in the mirror that it is what it is, I started loving myself. When I look in the mirror, yep, you worked hard for that. I'm proud of you, girl.
You go, girl.
You go, girl.
Absolutely. I love that. And I love that for you in that you found positive in aging. I think that it's one
Yes.
of the things we all have to accept. We all want to be immortal. So I'm still at an age where people think I'm 10 years younger. I don't know how much longer that's going to last. Trust me. Actually, my neighbor thought I was even like, I was like, come on. I mean, I'm like, you need to put glasses on. I mean, I'm 40 forever, but I love what you said in terms of, oh my God, I'm looking like my mom, but I love my mom. And I see my mom and my dad, my aunt a lot sometimes, my cousin who's older than me, she's about to turn 60. And I think when you accept aging, and it's not that I haven't accepted it, I just like being around younger people. I date younger guys. I'm an ageist. I like everything young around me because it makes me feel youthful.
Everything
But
young.
like you, my mind is always going to be youthful. I mean, my dad. My dad thinks he's like 40, and he's in his
Your dad is 40.
I know. But remember, the chronological number is only what's on your passport and your license. And when you go to the doctor and they ask you questions, when you get to a certain age and you feel like you've fully matured and you're happy with who you are as an individual, you become more sophisticated as a woman. I feel that I'm becoming more sophisticated, and younger people are looking to me for advice and questions and to coach and all of these things. And I go, you know what, there's some beauty in that, right? So the image of your body and your face and your skin and all these things will change over time, but as long as you keep it all in perspective, right? Because if we're healthy, it doesn't really matter. It's all about being healthy. If your body's healthy and you don't have any ailments, then you have to just accept that every year, no matter what, that birthday's coming. And this is not Benjamin Button where Brad Pitt aged backwards in the movie. We're going up, okay? And it's okay. Reinventing your body image and your self-image and your self-worth is so important as humans. And again, I have to represent the females. We have to empower each other and one another. I'm all about female empowerment. I love when a woman, she might not even be a good friend of yours. Maybe she's a new friend. And I have a new neighbor now. She's 38 and her name is Chloe also. She lives down the hall from me. And she said something to me the other day and she asked me for a favor. And I said, I got you, girl power all the time. I'm female empowerment all day long. And she's like, that's so sweet. We don't even know each other yet. I go, we're both Chloe, stick together. We're good. Female to female, always look out for each other. And she was like, I wish more women thought like that. And I'm like, they do. You just have to surround yourself with the right ones, right? There are some women that are just haters on other women because they're just jealous and they're salty and bitter. I call them little salt boxes. Or there are females that are just like, they gravitate towards strong, independent women and women that are confident and women that know their worth and who they are. And they want to be around that energy. And I think it's really important to find that within yourself. Does that make
Yep.
sense?
Yeah, absolutely. There's one last topic I would like to share about reinventing body image. And I think was an aha moment for me because I never had to think about losing weight. I had my weight since I
Good
was
for
16.
you. Because
No,
I've
no, let
had
me
to many
explain.
times.
No, let me explain. I had my same body, my same weight since I'm 16. Body, that was never like body image, body wise, right? I was good. Like all of my friends wanted to lose weight and it was hard and everything. And then I had a breakup. And when I have relationship breakups, no matter if I break up or relationship is broke, I lose weight because I have no appetite. Normally, I could eat all day long. I have no appetite. And in my breakups before, let's say I lost whatever, let's say 10 pounds, right? So, and I just felt, oh, I look better. Look, all my fat areas, they are gone. And oh, I look better. I feel better. And that's cool. But this time I lost 30 pounds.
Wow.
And I look like, yeah.
If I lost 30 pounds, I would be skinny.
So I lost 30 pounds. You could see my bones.
Wow.
There was barely flesh left. And that was the first time in my life I could really resonate with my friends who looked in the mirror and they had more pounds than they wish and they didn't see themselves. I didn't see myself anymore. I looked in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, do I still exist? There's more bones than anything else. And that was hard for me, hard than eat more protein and eat more good things to build muscle because I lost muscle then too, right? To build muscle and to build weight while no sugar, no gluten, trying to be vegan. And That was a hard journey. Thanks God I'm not on it anymore. It took me a long time. It took me at least 2 years to get back. It was a
It
long
took you
time.
2 years to gain all the 30 pounds back?
I have 20 more and whatever I now, no gluten, no sugar, as much as possible, right? I don't say never gluten and never sugar, but it took me a long time to look in the mirror again and find myself. So I just wanted to share that because one thing is for sure the beauty, right? We all want to look youthful and beautiful and strive and vibrant. But the other thing is really the body mass itself, right? And that it really, whoever tells me it's easy peasy now to gain weight when you don't have that in your body, that you can easily gain weight from the good stuff, not from the bad stuff. I can gain weight from the bad stuff, but then you have all the health issues.
Right.
So I think,
Salt, sugar, and fat and all that.
yeah. But then you have issues. Okay, Goody, you gained weight, but then you have
Right.
issues. You have a bad cholesterol, bad sugar,
Right.
whatever else, diabetes, whatever else there's out there. What I learned, that's my takeaway for today. If I can create positive thoughts and I catch myself when I think negatively, because when I think negatively, I want the bad stuff. I want sugar. I want a donut or
Oh,
pretzels.
I love a good donut. I love a hot donut right out of the oven.
So for me, really reinventing body image was a lot and is still focus on positive thoughts. Instead of eating a donut, I'm focusing on building my website, following my passion, doing what I love, a little bit to distract me, right? So that I don't think of the donut anymore, but also to lose the desire of having a magic button, an immediate satisfaction with something right now, because if I eat one donut, it's not enough. Like I can eat donuts, like donuts endlessly.
You like the nuts.
So reinventing is really making a decision that you don't like the body image mentally, physically, or emotionally, right? Making a decision what you like, what you want, and then focusing on building it. And then you feel like you're going in another direction, creating the awareness to stop yourself and perhaps to allow you to cheat sometimes, because I need that. I need to be able to cheat sometimes. Sometimes if I want a donut, I want a donut. Don't tell me about positive energy then. I want a donut. And after I have my donut, then I can think about positive energy again. But I don't make it a habit anymore whenever I feel like I need a donut to give in and eat a donut. Does it make
Right.
sense?
Absolutely. I agree with everything you just said. And my takeaway for reinventing your body image is everything in moderation. If you can, it's so difficult, but not when you're on vacation. So don't even bother. Okay. Because you're just going to torture yourself. Everything in moderation, and look in the mirror and just say, I love you. You're fabulous. That's my takeaway.
I love you. You're fabulous.
I love you too. You're fabulous. And we thank you and we hear you and we see you, everyone. And we love you. Please subscribe on YouTube and
Yeah. Don't forget.
join us on Apple and Spotify. And we're everywhere you are on social media. Bye,
Yes.
everybody.
Don't
Ciao for
forget to
now.
subscribe for our next reinvention story. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.
Just a quick note before we end. This conversation is for inspiration and empowerment only. It's not medical, mental health, or legal advice. We are not doctors, therapists, or lawyers. Just women sharing real stories and personal truth. Always seek professional guidance for your unique situation.